Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you, allowing you to gain a greater comprehension of your favorite storylines that maybe you had to speed through or you didn't have the money to go buy so that you can go buy more comic books. Today we're going to be bringing you part 2 to our 3-part Darkstars coverage for Green Lantern, which was the recent finale to Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns. If you didn't know what was going on, after DC Metal, the Green Lanterns ran into the Darkstars, which is an organization that is trying to take over as the space cops, but their answer is to kill anyone who would break the law. Our heroes had to go off and find new allies in the villains that they had recently been fighting, which brings us up to right now, where Hal Jordan is trying to break Hector Hammond out of prison. As the atomic skull begins to hit Hal Jordan with more energy blasts, he tells Hal, "I got a rep to uphold. Breaking out one of the inmates means going down. But can I say something, cop to cop? After becoming a good guy, there's still a part of me that likes to watch a hero squirm. Figured a Green Lantern would put up a fight." Hal Jordan pushes through the pressure, yelling, "You bonehead! I didn't come here to fight, but you changed my mind." He clamps the atomic skull down, who laughs at him, telling him, "There it is! Now we can really get into ah!" Hal pulls back, asking, "Skull?" And as Atomic Skull doesn't say anything, Hal looks back asking, "Is that you, Hector?" Hector jets up from the table telepathically yelling, "Hal, you came back for me! I knew you would! You're my hero!" Back on Jakal, Ursa shouts, "You brought poison into our home!" And John tells her, "Look, I just want to talk to your husband, not fight." Zod then asks, "What reason would force us to help the Green Lanterns after what you did?" John tells him that there's a group of people calling themselves the Darkstars. They're policing the universe without law and justice, and they only believe in one punishment: death. Zod tells John that those notions of law and justice do not concern me. Law and justice branded me a terrorist, cast me into the Phantom Zone. John tells him, "There's one reason why I want you to help. Do you remember the name Tomar Ray?" Zod pauses for a moment and tells him, "Go on." John tells him that he knows how Tomar Ray was the Green Lantern assigned to protect Krypton. Even though he died years ago, the Darkstars have a leader, the son of Tomar Ray. If they fight together, they'll be able to get him to him. Back on the bar on Heap, Arkillo eats the rest of his bottle, with Guy telling him that the two of them will have to take the lead and show others how to get over their gripes. But then a voice calls out to Guy and Arkillo asking, "What is law enforcement doing these days?" Guy and Arkillo suit up, and Guy tells him, "Looks like the Christmas goose dropped early." Together, the two concentrate their attack on Tomar 2, but the blast is easily deflected, and Tomar 2 says, "I didn't come here to fight. I've come for a new deputy. The unclaimed mantle with me has heard the call of one who wishes to enforce lethal justice." Arkillo laughs, telling him, "You are wasting your time. My loyalty is to Sinestro." And Guy stops him, telling him, "He's talking about me." Tomar 2 tells him, "That's right. The two of you have lived in the shadows of your fathers. I have already dealt the killing blow to Goldface. Do you wish to enforce lethal justice like me?" Guy looks at Tomar 2 in the eyes, and he tells him, "Yes." An empty Darkstar suit begins to break down, and it begins to reform itself around Guy. And a voice tells him, "You have been enlisted to the Darkstars." A short while later in Baltimore, outside of Hunter's Green Bar, Roland Gardner, Guy's father, stands outside in the rain staring at the bar. He asks God to give him the serenity to accept the things that he cannot change and the courage to change the things that he can. Roland looks down at his shaking hands, thinking back to when Guy was younger and he would beat him, and he begins to cry. Just then a couple walk by asking if that's Roland. "Hey, come join us for a drink," and he tells them that he can't. He needs to go to a meeting. And the man tells him, "This late? Well, whenever you've finished with work, stop by." Roland begins to walk away when suddenly a massive explosion goes off behind him and knocks him to the ground. A voice calls out, "Roland!" And he asks who's there. "What do you want?" Through the smoke, Guy steps forward, telling him, "For the crime of knocking me around when I was a kid, your punishment will be death." Over in Space Sector 563 on a dead planet, Hector looks around, telling him that he hoped the first alien world that he visited would be more interesting. Hal sits him down, telling him that he knows this place is out of the way, but it has breathable atmosphere, plus it's already dead, so he can't hurt anything. As Hector is set down, he gazes upon the stars that are so beautiful. He used to be an engineer before the change. He always adored space, but never thought that he would get to see it. Hal then tells him that there's a string attached. There's a huge threat facing the Green Lanterns, and they need his help. Last time that we met, the Krolitins called you the God Brain. We need to find out just what you can do. Hector says that he fulfilled his dream. Now what can he do? Anything? Suddenly, Hal's vision changes to him on top of a mound of bodies. And Hal shouts, asking, "What are you doing?" Hector tells him that he's showing him how he's going to kill all of the villains. That's what he wants, right? Hal begins to tell him no, and Hector tells him that he's lying. He remembers everything. The day that he was speaking to Superman about killing people once in a while. You imagined killing me, right? Well, now I can help keep people safe by killing all of the villains. Just let it happen, Hal. Hal begins to feel something on his finger, and as he looks, his ring disappears. And Hector tells him that he saw through the last illusion because he changed everything but him. It's going to be okay. He'll fix things the way that he wants. Hal Jordan is my friend. Heroes help their friends. As Hal's costume reverts back to a civilian jacket, he gets up asking, Who is Hal Jordan? Back on Jakal, Zod takes John out to see his followers, and he asks just what is he planning on doing with the deadly might of a Kryptonian. John tells him it's not the Kryptonian might that he needs, it's the Kryptonian mind. The Darkstars have tactical teleportation capabilities, making it hard to land their punches. He came here hoping to find a solution to help fight back. Zod scoffs, telling him that teleporting is a coward's tactic. Eradicator, to me! The Eradicator flies up asking, yes. And Zod tells him, display the schematics for the Kryptonian teledisruptor. Eradicator displays the image for a teledisruptor, and Zod says, I have used it many times before, highly effective. However, like every other part of Krypton, they were lost to me in time. New ones will take weeks to assemble. John tells him maybe for him, but he's the guy who rebuilt Coast City, now stand back and watch him work. John holds his hand out, and in front of the followers, a large assembly line is made and it begins to work. Meanwhile, over in New Genesis, Kyle and Cabby sit in their cell, with Kyle shouting that this is taking too long. Just tell Orion that they have Kyle Reader here! The guards don't respond, but after a few moments, the High Father walks in, and Kyle says, thank God, hurry and open up the cell so I can explain everything to Orion on the trip home. High Father tells him that he's heard of their conflict, and Orion will not be taking any part in it. You will be set free, but the new gods will not be involved in the affairs of mortals. Also, since Mother Boxes are new gods' technology, they will be removed as well. Orion tries to speak, but the High Father stops him, telling him that the rise of the Darkstars is regrettable. But the decisions have been made. We have our own people to see to. Kyle beats in the barrier, yelling that he saved Orion's life by creating a construct heart when his was cut out. He swore that he would be there when we needed him. Highfather turns his back, telling him, I have said all that I needed to on the matter. You will be sent for when we are releasing you. Cabby then gets up from the bed, stating that this is exactly why he doesn't have any friends. Back on Earth, Guy stands before Roland, holding his arm out ready to fire. Roland asks, why is he dressed like that? Why isn't he wearing the Green Lantern uniform again? And Guy says, why would you care? You never approved of me being a ring slinger. Well, I couldn't make it as a real cop, so now I'm wearing the Darkstar gear. I knew that I'd find you sulking around the green. A drunkard can't change his spots. Roland tells him, you got it all wrong. I've stopped drinking. I've been going to meetings. It's been 6 weeks since I've had a drop. Longest I've gone since, hell, ever. Guy asks, really? AA meetings? And Roland gets up, telling him, it's been working. I come to the green once a week to test myself and then walk away. Guy shouts that he'll just go back to the booze like he always does. I can see you for what you really are. It's time to stop being a lantern and do things a new way. It all starts with you, Pops. Roland falls to his knees, telling him that he wishes he had been a better man. He knows that he hates him, and he can live with that. He is a good man, better than he ever was. Go ahead. Give an old drunk the easy way out. He deserves it. Guy fights the urge to fire, telling him, it's got more to do than hate. You don't respect me. It's a hell of a thing to put on a kid. Get ready for your final justice. As he pulls back the trigger, a yellow tentacle reaches up from behind, slamming him into a truck, throwing him to the ground. Arkillo yells, you will not kill your father unless you kill me first, Guy. Back on the dead planet, Hal holds out his hands, asking, whose hands are these? Are they mine? The sky, so many planets and stars. This place, I've never been here before. How did I get here? Where is this place? Who am I? Hector tells him that he's safe. Everything is going to be okay. My name is Hector Hammond, your friend. Hal stumbles, getting up, asking, my name is Hal? And Hector tells him, that's right, you're a hero. And you're going to make all the bad people across the whole universe disappear. Hal tells him, that's nice of me. Nobody likes people doing bad things except bad people. The voice inside of Hal's head shouts, don't listen to him. Hector is messing with your mind. And Hal shouts out in pain, with Hector telling him to ignore that voice. It wants to stop you. You don't want to stop me from getting rid of the bad people, right? Meanwhile, over in Baltimore, Arkillo stands between Guy and Roland, telling them, we have been enemies and friends. No matter what you think, I won't allow you to execute your father. Guy charges in, punching Arkillo, yelling, nothing will stop me. Now stand down and let me handle business. Arkillo picks himself back up, stating that this is just like the last time. Do you remember what you said? Take off your jewelry, princess. Arkillo begins to slide off his ring, and Guy tells him, don't make me do it. No matter how much Pop talks about sobriety, it'll never stick. Arkillo walks between the two of them again, and Guy says, this is your last chance. And Arkillo asks him, are you speaking with your fists or your mouth? Roland tells him it's okay. Guy's right, he doesn't deserve to But Arkillo tells him, "Be quiet! I need you to understand that this is no longer about you." Guy takes both his fists, slamming him into the back of Arkillo's neck, yelling, "It's about justice! The Darkstar way! The only way!" Arkillo bounces off the nearby buildings and he lands, and as Guy gets up on top of him, punching him over and over again, the punches begin to slow down, and Arkillo spits out blood, stating that he too was a criminal, a wanton murderer for the Sinestro Corps. But he taught him another way. He is his second chance. If he truly believes that all of this is for naught, then he is incapable of being better. Then kill him as well. Tears begin to stream down Guy's face, and he tries to say something, but there's a bright green explosion. The Darkstar suit says, "Mantle malfunctioning. Willpower override detected." As the Darkstar suit breaks apart and falls to the ground, Guy tells him, "That was intense." Roland walks over, telling him that he's so sorry for everything, but Guy gets up shouting, "For crying out loud, Pop, not now. I need to be pissed off to fight the Darkstars." Guy's uniform begins to appear around him again, and then he says that he let the suit get onto him to see what it was like from the inside. And it's bad. He could feel the shared mind of every Darkstar screaming. It took his thoughts about punishing his dad and it cranked it to 11. It's riot mentality with a badge. Call the rest of the Yellows. We're gonna need them. Arkillo tells him that he already told him that hatred that runs through the Yellow Corps. They'll punish him just to learn that he aided a Green Lantern. Guy laughs, telling him, "Haha, who needs him anyway? We go together like peanut butter and chocolate. Nobody can brawl like we can, Arkillo." As the two begin to fly, Roland calls out that there's so much that he needs to say, and Guy yells back to him, "We can't right now, but I'll come back soon, and maybe we can get a drink or coffee." Back in New Genesis, Kyle leans against the wall, telling him, "Oh no, this is fine. Keep me locked up while the Darkstars are raging war with my friends. That's cool." A few moments later, Orion walks in telling the guards that they're dismissed, and one of the guards asks, "What about Highfather's command?" Orion tells him that Highfather isn't present, he's the commanding officer. As the guards leave, Orion lowers the barrier to the cell, telling them that they need to get out of here. Cabby says that's nice and all, but he isn't going anywhere without the old gal. Orion says, "Really? You can fly home, leave the damn ship." And Cabby sits on the ground telling him, "Not without old gal." Kyle laughs, telling him that it looks like they're not going anywhere with that old gal. Back at Space Sector 563, Hal sits down, stating that he heard a voice. It told him not to listen, and Hector tells him no, it didn't, it never happened. The important thing is that he's going to kill every villain in the universe. There won't be any evil. He's inspired by a hero that he once knew. Hal tells him that that doesn't sound right, and just then a voice yells to Hal that they were the ones that brought Hector here to see if he would help the Green Lantern Corps, not let him massacre everyone. They've got to break free from Hector's hold. Follow your gut. Of all the places that you could bring him, remember why you chose here. Hector tells Hal that he's being very stubborn, but Hal gets up telling him, "No, I remember." He runs towards the cave with Hector mentally blocking Hal's mind, telling him that that is enough. That was a mild mental spike. It can be worse. The voice inside of Hal shouts to dig deep. They have the will. Their will chased down the speedster of the new gods. They became willpower itself to defeat Sinestro. They did what was never done before. They forged a ring from their own willpower. We are Hal Jordan. Hal stands up, seeing the green projection of himself, stating that that's right. He is Hal Jordan. The voice tells him, that's right. We made the ring here. It changed the planet forever. Our will is a part of this planet. We brought Hector here because we knew that if he tried to overpower our mind, it would be the hardest place to do it. We know what we have to do. Hal begins to reach out for his ring, and the ring slides on, and there's a loud boom as a green explosion of willpower goes off, going through Hector Hammond. Hal stands back up in his uniform, telling him, beware my power. Hector floats back, asking him, you understand now? All the guilt that you had about your feelings and thoughts about killing the criminals, even killing me, that's just what they are. Feelings and thoughts. You just proved that you would never do these things. You wouldn't let all the criminals die. Your actions make you a true hero, Hal. Hal tells him, you have one messed up way of making a point, but thanks. As Hal creates a spacesuit for Hector again, Hector says that he's glad to fight alongside him. He's a real hero. Hal smiles, telling him, damn straight I am. The Darkstars are about to find out how much of a hero I am. Meanwhile, back at the command center on Mogo, Eggle hears a beep on the screen. It says that there's an unidentified contact in orbit. As Salak comes to look, 2 more beeps can be heard and then dozens more. Salak asks what's happening and Eggle tells him they're everywhere. The Darkstars are here. And there you have it. Another incredible Darkstars storyline, but this time Guy Gardner found out the truth. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see the inevitable conclusion of this storyline where everyone fights, because that's all we really want with the Green Lantern storyline. Epic space battles, pew, pew, pew. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here. Pew, pew.